Okay, concept definition of research. There are several ways of obtaining answers to your professional questions. These methods range from the fairly informal, based upon clinical impressions, to the strictly scientific, adhering to the conventional expectation of scientific procedure. Research is one of the ways to find answers to your questions. When you say that you are undertaking a research study to find out answers to a questions, you are implying that the process being applied. Research is being undertaken within the framework, a set of philosophies, positivist, interpretative, phenomenology, action or participatory, feminist, qualitative, quantitative. Research uses procedure, methods, and techniques that have been tested for their validity and reliability. Research is designed to be unbiased and objective. The concept of validity can be applied to any aspect of the research process. It ensures that in a research study, correct procedures have been applied to find answer to a question. Reliability refers to the quality of measurement procedure that provides repeatability and accuracy. Validity, correct procedures, reliability, repeatability, and accuracy. Unbiased and objective means that you have taken each step in unbiased manner and drawn each conclusion to be to the best of your ability and without introducing your own vested interests. The author makes a distinction between bias and subjectivity. Subjectivity is an integral part of your way of thinking that is conditions by your educational background, discipline, philosophy, experience, and skills. For example, a psychologist may look at a piece of information differently from the way in which an anthropologist or historian looks at it. Bias, on the other hand, is a deliberate attempt to either conceal or highlight something adherence to the three criteria mentioned above enables the process to be called research. On the other hand, uh, it's a deliberate attempt to either conceal or highlight something. Adherence to the three criteria mentioned above enables the process to be called research. Therefore, you say you are undertaking a research study to find the answer to a question. This implies that the method you are adopting fulfills these expectations. However, the degree to which these criteria are expected to be fulfilled varies from discipline to discipline, and so the meaning of research differs from one academic discipline to another. For example, the expectations of the research process are markedly different between the physical and the social science. In the physical science, a research individual is expected to be strictly controlled at each step, whereas in the social science, rigid control cannot be enforced and sometimes is not even demanded. Within the social science, the level of control required also varies markedly from one discipline to another, as social scientists differ over the need for the research process to meet the above expectation. Despite this difference among the disciplines, their broad approach to inquiry is similar. As beginners in research, you should understand that research is not all technical, complex statistics and computers. It can be a very simple activity designed to provide answers to very simple questions relating to day-to-day activities. On the other hand, research procedures can also be employed to formulate intricate theories or laws that govern our lives. The difference between research and non-research activity is as mentioned in the way we find answer to our research questions. For a process to be called research, it is important that it meets certain requirements and possesses certain characteristics. To identify these requirements and characteristics, let us examine some definition of research. The word research is composed of two syllables, re and source. The dictionary defines the former as a prefix re, meaning again, anew, or over again, and the latter as the verb source, meaning to examine the closely and carefully, to test and try, or to probe. Together, they form a noun describing a careful, systematic, patient study and investigation in some field of knowledge undertaken to establish facts and principles according to Grinnell. Also, Grinnell further adds, research is a structured inquiry that utilizes acceptable scientific methodology to solve problems and creates new knowledge that is generally applicable. Scientific methods consist of systematic observation, classification, interpretation of data. Now, obviously, this process is one in which nearly all people engage in the course of their daily lives. The main difference between our day-to-day generalization and the conclusions usually recognized as scientific method lies in the degree of formality, rigorousness, verifiability, and general validity of the latter, according to Ludwig. Also, Burns defines in very short research as a systematic investigation to find answer to a problem. According to Carlinger, 1986, scientific research is a systematic, controlled, empirical, and critical investigation of propositions about the presumed relationship about various phenomena. Ballmer states, nevertheless, sociological research is primarily committed to establishing systematic, reliable, and valid knowledge about the social world. The Advanced Learner Dictionary of Current English lays down the meaning of research as a careful investigation or inquiry, especially through search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. Ridman and Mori defines research as a systematized effort to gain new knowledge. According to Clifford Woody, research comprises defining and redefining problems, formulating hypotheses or solutions, collecting, organizing, and evaluating data, making deductions, and reaching conclusions, and at last, carefully testing the conclusions to determine whether they fit the formulating hypothesis. This Schlesinger and Jan Stephanon in the Encyclopedia Social Science defined research as the manipulation of the things, concepts, or symbols for the purpose of generalizing to extend, correct, or verify knowledge, whether the knowledge is in construction of theory or in the practice of an art. Research is thus an original contribution to the existing stock of knowledge, making for its advancement. It is the pursuit of truth with the help of study, observation, comparison, and experiment. In short, search for knowledge through objectives and systematic method of finding solution to a problem is research. The systematic approach concerning generalization and the formulation of a theory is also research. As a source, the term research refers to the systematic method consisting or enunciating the problem, formulating of hypotheses, collecting the facts or data, analyzing the facts in reaching the certain conclusions, either in the form of solution to the concerned problem or in certain generalization or some theoretical formulation. Research means search for knowledge. It aims at discovering the truth. It is the source for knowledge through the objectives and systematic method of finding solution to the problems. It is carried on both for discovering new facts and verification of old ones. Therefore, research is a process of systematic and in-depth study or search for any particular topic, subject, or area of investigation, backed by collection, computation, presentation, and interpretation of relevant data. Okay, it's all about definition of research or concept definition of research. Thanks for watching and request you all like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for patience. That is now bye bye. See you again.